Hey Jarvis.
Good evening, Jonathan. What's up?
Hey Jarvis, I've got some ground beef, noodles, and a handful of veggies. What can I make for dinner that would only take me 10 minutes?
You could whip up a quick stir fry. Just brown the ground beef in a pan, toss in the veggies, and cook them until they're tender. Then add the noodles and a splash of soy sauce or your favorite seasoning. Mix it all together, and you've got a tasty dinner in no time.
By now you've probably heard of ChatGPT, but you have no idea how it works or even how to use it. And like me, maybe when you first started using it, you just stared at the screen. You're like, what do I do with this thing? Like, where do I even begin? So if that's how you feel right now, if you feel like you're a complete noob when it comes to ChatGPT, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to walk through the interface, like how do you navigate the website and all the different buttons and the features. We're going to talk about how does it work behind the scenes. And finally, I'm going to give you some real world examples of how I'm actually using ChatGPT on a daily basis in my personal life and at work. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let's dive into it. Okay, so when you first go to chatgpt.com, it kind of looks similar to like a Google search, right? It has the little search bar in the middle. It's a plain white background. There's not a whole lot going on initially, but don't be fooled. There's a lot going on here, and we're going to walk you through all the different buttons and the features, and by the end of this video, you'll be pretty comfortable with this interface. So we're here on the screen, and right here on the middle of the screen, we have this search feature. We have all these buttons here. And we have this guy over here, we got this over here, We're going to talk about all this. So where do we begin? The great thing about ChatGPT is you can just use natural language. Like you could just talk to it like you're talking to a friend, right? So let's just try something simple. Like what is the weather here today in Charlotte, North Carolina? Okay, so it's going to do its thing, search the web, and it's going to get the weather here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And you'll notice right away that it's using my name, Good Evening Jonathan, because I'm logged into my profile, so it knows who I am. It's going out and getting some weather. It's got the reference there to the website and some other sources there. It has the sources button. And from there, you can copy this if you wanted to copy it somewhere else. You can like it. You can tell the ChatGPT, yeah, I didn't like it. I did like it. It can even read it aloud. Let's try that.
Good evening, Jonathan. As of 7:15 p.m. EDT today, Friday, May 16th, 2025, the weather in Charlotte, NC is hot and humid.
Yeah.
Temperatures have reached the upper 80s to lower 90s degrees here, with heat index values
All right, we get the point. Yeah, it's actually pretty humid today. Let's talk about the model, right? So in the top left-hand corner and here, you have the option to switch models. So I'm not going to go into all these, but the idea is that the models, certain models perform best for certain tasks. And so you'll see here it says that 4.0 is great for most tasks. But if you wanted to do some more deeper research, you would use maybe the 0.3 model. If you want to do some coding, you might use the 0 mini high model. So there's different models for different purposes. But for our demo, just keeping it simple, we're just going to go with the default of GPT 4.0 for now. Now, let's say I wanted to share this chat with a friend. I could go here in the top right-hand corner and click share. It's going to give me a link. I create the link. So I just copied it, and it gives me options to post it in different places like Twitter, Reddit, or LinkedIn. But yeah, you can send this to someone. I've done that before where I did some research on something and I wanted to share that research with someone instead of just copy and paste into a document. I can just send them a link right to ChatGPT. So let's see, on the left-hand side, if I click this button here, you'll see it kind of opens up. You can open and close this little window in the sidebar. And you'll see that we have access to some other ChatGPT libraries over here. Like ChatGPTs are are custom modules, I guess, where they're predetermined for specific purposes. For example, here's a GPT that I built, called the FAA Part 107 Tutor. And this is a ChatGPT that's customized in a specific context for helping people learn how to study for their Part 107 FAA exam, so they can become a licensed drone pilot. On the left-hand side, if you keep going, you can actually explore the GPTs. There's all different kinds of GPTs that you can explore by different features or functionality, like writing, productivity, research, analysis. These are all GPTs people have already pre-written. You can click on and explore all you want. So it's kind of like a template. You don't have to start from scratch. On the left-hand side, keep going down, we have projects. So maybe, like for me, I have a YouTube scripts project where I keep all my scripts that I'm brainstorming and writing about for YouTube. And then you also have a history here on the left-hand side. You'll see all the ways that I've actually used it today. You'll see the ways I used it yesterday. And then it goes down to previous 7 days. And it's still loading. And you'll see, wow, I actually use it a lot. Last 30 days, you'll see how much I've been using it. So it's a pretty handy tool. And so I use it daily. All right, what else? All right, let's go back to let's do a new chat. Okay, let's explore this area a little bit more. So if I click this plus button, I can add a photo. I can connect to Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and upload a document. I can upload an image. Once I have something uploaded, I can ask ChatGPT to analyze it, to summarize it. If it's a photo, I can tell it to tell me what's in the photo and summarize it. Give me a description. There's also these other buttons here, like search. This is sort of like if you go to Google, right? So let's say, for example, if I type in what is ChatGPT and how does it work? This is going to give us an interface or some results that are similar to like Google search results. You'll see that it says scraping the web. So just like Google search, it's going to give you some images that it pulled from some other search results, right? This is someone else's website. Someone made these. I guess it'd be the equivalent of like going to Google Images and finding the images related to specific search results. And then you're also going to notice that it likes to reference certain articles like Wikipedia, Zapier. So it's giving you the sources. It's giving you the sources of where it's getting this information and the option for further reading. So it's kind of similar to just a normal search, but it's a little bit more like a Google search. And then you have deep research. But the cool thing about deep research is you can actually connect it to different applications like Dropbox or GitHub if you're a coder. And you can actually have it research on those files, on those documents. So let's say, for example, I had a bunch of PDF documents on my Dropbox account that were related to my business. I could tell ChatGPT, I could connect it to my Dropbox account, and then I can say, okay, read through all these documents and summarize them, and then do some analysis on those documents, right? So it's connecting to different applications and doing deeper research. I actually was not quite sure of the differences, and so earlier when I was doing research for this video, I actually just asked ChatGPT, like, what's the difference between deep research and normal search? You see right here, I asked, how does search differ from deep research on ChatGPT? Explain it on a 5th grade reading level, which is good for me. So let's see what it says. Think of search like asking your smart friend to Google something really fast. That's basically what I said earlier. It's just like doing a Google search. And then deep research, it says, now imagine you gave your smart friend a notebook and said, take your time, learn everything about this topic, and explain it to me clearly. Deep research digs deeper, like reading books, blogs, expert sites. It organizes all the info into clear, smart answers, like a mini report. It takes longer, but it gives you better, more detailed answer. So if you're really trying to go deep on a topic, if you're really trying to get down the nitty-gritty from different opinions, different sources, then deep research is the best option. It also has the ability to create images. You can create images from scratch. So I'll give you I'll give you an example of one I did earlier. So here's an example of creating an image. So I uploaded a photo of myself and my wife using this button down here. And I said, create an image of what a teenage daughter would look like between this man and this woman. And this is what it came back with. So it doesn't exactly look like me or my wife, but it's kind of pretty close. And it came back with this young lady who actually looks like one of my real daughters in real life. And then I said, so I have two girls. And then I said, tell me what my son would look like if I ever had a son. And so this is the image it came back with, a good-looking kid. It did continue to distort myself and my wife's face a little bit, but it kind of took both of us and kind of created this imaginary young man. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so what else? Oh yeah, let me show you this. So on the right-hand side, let's start a new chat. I want to show you something. So let's say you didn't want to type anything. You wanted to just kind of get your thoughts out loud, and maybe your external processor. So you want to think out loud and then capture it in the screen. So what we can do is we can use this little button over here, and we'll click on it. And what that does is it dictates your speech. So let's try it. Tell me what the weather is in Atlanta, Georgia today. Okay, so it's going to stop dictating, and now it captured what I said, and then I hit enter and let it do its thing. There we go. The temperature in Georgia right now is 82 degrees. Okay, so and then one of my favorite features is the voice mode, and that's what you saw earlier in the video when I was talking to my ChatGPT, which I named Jarvis after the bot, and Iron Man, right? Iron Man, it starts off with Friday, and then I think he changes the name. Yeah, Friday is a girl, and then Jarvis is a guy. So I named mine Jarvis. So let's try doing that same thing with Jarvis. Hey, Jarvis.
Hey, Jonathan. What's up?
Hey, can you tell me what the weather is in Nashville, Tennessee?
Good evening, Jonathan. In Nashville, Tennessee, it's currently 84 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, expect strong thunderstorms with a low around 66 degrees. Tomorrow, Saturday, anticipate mostly sunny conditions and a high near 88 degrees.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so there we go. I think we've covered everything with the interface, everything you need to know just to get started. So let's move on. Let's move on to how this all actually works. As we just saw, ChatGPT is basically a chat-like interface for OpenAI's LLM, which stands for Large Language Model. So what is an LLM? Well, let's go back to ChatGPT and ask it. What is an LLM? Explain it to a fifth grade level. Fifth grader. Let's keep it simple. Okay, LLM stands for Large Language Model. Okay, it says imagine you have a super smart robot that has read almost everything on the internet. Books, websites, stories, and even conversations. Now, this robot can use all that reading to help you write, answer questions, or even tell jokes. So, okay, so it's this really smart robot brain, but how does it actually work? Well, I was doing some research earlier, and I came up with how LLMs actually work. It's actually a really good guesser. It's really good at guessing through pattern recognition of what should come next. So let's check out an example. And I already did this earlier, so we'll just use that one. This is called a word guessing game, and this is going to demonstrate how the LLM actually works. Here's the sentence. Every morning, the dog runs to the... And how would you finish that sentence? Well, you could say the dog runs to the door because it wants to go outside. It might run to the window because it wants to watch things outside. Or it could run to the kitchen because it's time to eat. And so there's different options there. And so the full sentence could look something like, every morning the dog runs to the door and waits for his walk. Or every morning the dog runs to the kitchen for his food. It says ChatGPT decides which guess sounds best based on all the stories and patterns it has seen before. So again, it uses pattern recognition to try to guess what's next. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's go through some examples. ChatGPT is going to be really excellent at things like writing, brainstorming, generating images, which we saw earlier, translating. It can even translate. It can analyze data and then make a summary of it. It can even write code. So what we're going to do next is go over 11 ways that I've actually used ChatGPT. These are real world examples of how I've been using them in my daily life, my personal life, and my work life. And I'm going to give you these two available to download for free. I'm also going to include 50 more ways that you can use ChatGPT in your day-to-day life. So if you're still kind of like, man, how do I use this thing? I'm going to give you 61 ways to use it in total. So click on the link in the description below. You can access all 61 possibilities. Okay, so 11 ways that I'm using ChatGPT is mainly for writing. Writing blog posts, social media articles, and emails. Number 2, mockups. I was recently preparing to go out of the country, and I needed to think about a way to set up a video interview shoot in a coffee shop. So I want to show you on the screen here what it came up with. Okay, so here we are back on in ChatGPT. And so if you look here in the top right, this is the coffee shop that we're going to be filming the interviews in. So you'll see my prompt here. I just said modify this coffee shop setup for a cinematic interview with a large soft key light and a hair light. Add a man in a suit as the subject of the interview. So this is what it came back with, which is pretty cool, right? If I click on it, it gets even bigger. Pretty cool, right? Like that looks great. Like you got this light over here, you got this contrast, there's a hair light, you got leading lines, there's depth. It's pretty cool. I don't like the light though, I don't want to see the light. So what I do is I just said, remove the light from the image and raise the exposure about 10%. It was a little bit too dark for me. In the back, there's a long table against a brick wall. Talking about this table back here. Add a row of small flags on top of the table, and this was the result. See, the light is gone, and the flags are in the background. And then I said, add some more flags. Add more flags on the back table to the right side of the man. So I'm using natural language as if I was talking to someone in real life. And look, it gave me all these flags back here on this back table. Pretty cool, right? So there's an example of how I'm using it in my day-to-day work in my full-time job. Tagging. Okay, so one of the ways that I make money on the side is through stock photography. And so what I can do here is, let's just go to new chat. I can upload. Okay, here's an example. So here's the coffee shop we were just talking about with the interview setup. But let's say I wanted to upload this image to a stock photography website, which it's a website where you upload photos and then people can buy those photos from you. Now, one of the biggest hassles of those type of sites is the title. You have to add a title, a description, and tags. And all that information, all that metadata is usable to help people find it, so then they can find the image and then buy it from you. And it's a lot of work. It's the most tedious and worst part of the process. But with ChatGPT, with their capability to have vision, to actually see what's in the picture and recognize it, you can let it do all the work for you. So, for example, I went ahead and uploaded this coffee shop photo. It said, I plan on uploading this photo to a stock website. Give me a title, description, and 10 tags, 10, let's say hashtags, that describe this photo. I don't know. Let's see. There we go. ChatGPT is really good at interpreting our horrible typing skills. Okay, there we go. Modern, cozy coffee shop interior with a brick wall design. Look at that. I didn't tell it it had a brick wall in the background. It just looked at it and figured it out. A warm and inviting coffee shop interior featuring brick walls, wooden furniture, potted plants. There's plants there. A digital menu screen. Yep, back there. See it picked up the screen. The stylish space combines industrial elements with cozy decor, creating an ideal environment for working, socializing, or enjoying a quiet cup of coffee break. And then there's some hashtags. So I can just literally like copy paste that into your stock website and then go on to the next image and be done with it. So that's pretty cool. It's a huge time saver. All right, what else? Brainstorming. So recently I was developing a new product called Lead Loop, and I needed I wasn't quite sure what to call it. Like I knew what the product does, but I didn't have a name for it. So I just went into ChatGPT. I gave it the description of what the product does. I said, give me 10 idea names for this product. And the one I picked was Lead Loop. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, give me a logo for Lead Loop, right? So let me pull it up for you, just see what it came back with. So here I am again using the create image feature that's down here. Create a logo for my new product called Lead Loop. This product intakes new leads and follows up with text messages and emails, trying to get them to book a consult or a meeting with a sales rep. And then here's the logo that it came back with, which I thought was pretty good because it describes the product very well. Like it's going to send people emails, which is this icon. This is the universal chat icon. And it's a loop because leads come in, messages go out, leads come in, messages go out. So it kind of makes sense, and the logo is pretty cool. Problem solving technical issues. So next week I plan on going out of the country, and I created an Excel spreadsheet with all these different people's names and their numbers. And when you go to a foreign country, you always have to include the country code, which starts with a plus, right? So when I was putting plus number into the Excel spreadsheet, it kept trying to write a formula, and it's trying to do math. So I needed some help from ChatGPT on how to format these numbers properly so that it wouldn't keep creating a formula in a spreadsheet. All right, so here's the request. I'm trying to type in foreign phone numbers with country codes in Excel. However, Excel keeps trying to make it a formula. How can I stop it? And so it gave me a couple options. And here's the one that I used that worked the best. It says just start with an apostrophe. So you want to type your number like this. So apostrophe +44 7700, etc. And that solved the problem. That kept Excel from trying to convert this into some type of formula or a mathematical equation. Okay, gathering and formatting data. So I'm heading to Berlin next week, and I needed a list of all the countries in Europe. I need a list of all the countries in Europe. So what did I do? Well, let me show you. All right, here we go. Give me a list of all the countries in Europe in a table format. List them in alphabetical order. The table should have 3 columns. Number. This should auto increment starting with 1, the name, and then the word purchased. Okay, so here's all, it came back with all the countries in Europe in alphabetical order, starting with Albania and going all the way down to the Vatican City. But now I wanted to put this into an Excel format. So I said, give me a download link for Google Sheets, and here it is. Here's your downloadable Excel file ready to upload to Google Sheets. So you just click on it and you can download it to your desktop. Troubleshooting computer problems. So recently I was in Photoshop and I was trying to work with a large file. And the file was so large that anytime I tried to copy paste anything, I kept getting this error that said scratch disk was full. And I wasn't quite sure what that meant. So what did I do? I went to ChatGPT. So my PC laptop is given an error in Adobe Photoshop. And this is the error. Could not save because the scratch disks are full. So then you can see that ChatGPT is giving me all these ideas on different reasons why you may be getting that error. And so what I did to fix it was, number one, open Photoshop, go to Edit, Purge All, and it said this clears the clipboard and undo history to free up memory. So once I did that, the problem was fixed. So obviously I create a lot of videos on YouTube which require a lot of script writing. So I want to show you how I use ChatGPT to help me write scripts for my YouTube channel. The first thing I want to do is give the AI a role. So I might say something like, you are an expert YouTube scriptwriter. So I'm giving it a role, and there's research out there that says when you give it a role, it's going to be more likely to give you better results. And then you want to do something like this. You want to, I know this is kind of silly, but you want to like hype up the AI and say something like, we already did, we said you're an expert, and it said, I really need your help. So you're showing it that we're kind of dependent on it. It's kind of weird. And the script and this script affects the ability for my video to go viral and succeed. So you're kind of raising the stakes, so to speak, with the AI and giving it context. So let's say, for example, I wanted to write a script for my next video talking about Airtable. Airtable is a database I use a lot, and I'll probably make a video about it in the future. Let's say, help me write a script about how to use Airtable for beginners. Give me a hook, 3 main points, and a call to action. Something like that. So here we go. It came back with a YouTube script, how to use Airtable for beginners. It gave me a hook, and that should be 2 seconds. And then it gave me an introduction, point 1, point 2, point 3, call to action, boom, you're done in 5 minutes. All right, so there you go. I mean, that's a good place to start. I do this as I write scripts for YouTube, but this isn't, like, I don't stop there. I would review this and make tweaks and change it so that it sounds like me. It doesn't sound like a robot, but this is a good place to start. So if you have any kind of writing projects, use ChatGPT. Translation. So I was recently in Bolivia for work, and they speak Spanish there, so I used it several times to help me translate. I would translate for different people. Someone would ask me a question. I would type it in. What does this mean? How do you say this? You can even take a picture of menus in restaurants that are in Spanish. You can take a picture of it, upload it to ChatGPT, and say, translate this menu for me in Spanish. And it will translate it. Translate this menu in Spanish to English, and it will translate it. And so then you can read the menu and order some food. Finding leads. So about 2 videos ago, I made a video talking about how to find leads with ChatGPT. So I want to show that to you again, because I think it's really important for businesses to always be cognizant of how they can find new leads for the business. So for example, let's say you're a drone pilot and you want to partner with wedding photographers to offer your services. You guys partner up, and then the next time he has a wedding, he calls you to fly drones for him because he doesn't fly drones. So how would we do research, that kind of research here? So we could say, I'm a drone pilot looking to partner with a wedding photographer. Give me 10 wedding photographers in Charlotte, North Carolina, and list them out in a table format with name, phone, email, and website. Boom. Let's see what we get back. There we go. Look at all these leads. Click Away Photography, Shutter and Sound, Bella Ann Photography, They got their website, they got phone numbers, they got email. Some don't have that kind of stuff. It's fine. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's simple, right? You can go in there and just start making phone calls. You can start sending emails saying, "Hey, I'm a drone photographer. I'd love to partner with you on your next wedding." Okay, there you go. 11 ways that I'm using ChatGPT in my day-to-day life, in my work, to solve problems, do research, to write articles, to write scripts, like solve problems, to troubleshoot, all sorts of ways. So hopefully this has got you thinking, and hopefully stir some things in your brain about how you can start using ChatGPT today. So remember, if you click on the link in the description below, I'm going to give you all 11 of these ways and then 50 more ways that you can use ChatGPT. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.